I need to take a few minutes to clear something up because I've seen a lot of misinformation and just old-fashioned confusion over the past few days. Because a lot of people have been saying a lot of things since coming across headlines saying things like House passes a defense bill automatically registering men 18 to 26 for draft. Or with a lot of people going, oh shit, pack up for war, boys. Or with us seeing TikTok, YouTube, and other social media blowing up with people sharing World War III thoughts, sharing their draft dodging tips, voicing their concerns about whether Gen Zers are actually fit for war. Hell, there's getting a whole new wave of attention because Cardi B shared her insightful commentary on the subject.
And all I want to say is to America, good luck with that. These few little are TikTokers, baby. These motherfuckers ain't gonna fight no war. We gonna die. You're gonna die.
Right, well, that's a fun video. One, I gotta say, I can't speak to Gen Z, but fucking, I know Gen Alpha will fight a war. My 10-year-old will absolutely drone strike some insurgents like he's playing a fucking video game and then be like, oh, well, they had no skibbity Ohio Riz, or whatever the hell words they've made up. Main point being, if we can fight wars using iPads, America's taken over the world. But I digress, right? The thing at the center of this story is about a bill that was passed by the House that's called Service Member Quality of Life Improvement and National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2025, right? And a version of that bill actually gets passed every single year because every year Congress needs to sign off on the military budget. And with that, the version of the bill passed by the House includes a provision to automatically register American men between the ages of 18 and 26 in the Selective Service System. And automatically is the key word there, because you may not realize this, American men in this age group are already required to register for selective service. And in fact, most states automatically register men for the draft when they apply for a driver's license, with many states even already requiring eligible people to register in order to take out state-level student loans. And in fact, it is technically a felony not to register for selective service if you meet the requirement. It's punishable by fines or even a prison sentence already. Though a key thing with that is that people being prosecuted for that, it's almost unheard of nowadays. With actually the bigger concern here being that failing to register affecting eligibility for federal jobs, citizenship, and student financial aid. Now, of course, it is still true that the selective service system is basically a list of U.S. citizens who would be eligible to be conscripted into the military if needed. But a very key thing is that being eligible for a draft is a hell of a lot different than being drafted. And at that point, the U.S. military hasn't used the list of names to call people up for military service since the Vietnam War. And also, importantly, it's not something that can easily be done either. The selective service system lays out a clear chain of events that have to happen before anyone can be drafted. With it, most importantly, they're requiring Congress to amend the Military Selective Service Act to authorize the president to draft personnel into the armed forces. And, if you watch this show, you already know how hard it is for Congress to agree on anything, though also there, we still have to see if this version of the bill makes its way through the Senate. Because notably there, the House version includes other controversial measures, or things like restrictions on abortion and transgender healthcare in the military. But with this, I don't want to be completely dismissive. Or while a draft is not seriously on the table right now, it has happened here in the past, and we live in a world where right now several European countries are talking about it due to fears of Russia. And some already have it. And then even here in the US, several former Trump officials and Republican lawmakers have talked about a national service mandate and other measures to deal with what they refer to as a crisis facing the country's all-volunteer military. In fact, Christopher Miller, who led the Pentagon near the end of Trump's presidency, said a national service requirement should be strongly considered, even going so far as to call it a common rite of passage that would create a sense of shared sacrifice among America's young people. Though also, to be fair there, you had Trump writing on social media that the idea that he would call for mandatory military service, that was ridiculous. But hey, whatever happens from here. But at the very least, I just wanted to share the reality of what's actually happening, since a lot of people are just kind of yapping. And it just feels like media literacy right now might be at an all-time low, due in part to the shock and share economy that we have on social media, and also the breakdown of trust on social media. Less important story, but yesterday there were a lot of people that were like, wait, Justin Timberlake was on Molly and all these other drugs? And it seemingly turned out that the main source for that was Poo Crave, a satire account of Pop Crave. 126,000 likes on that, 24 million views on that post. And it took way too long to get a community note on that thing. We are doomed